All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Shrapnel, our second of our new iterations of the Insecticons here. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this figure turned out. He's definitely simple, like, like Kickback in Stag Beetle mode. It's just kind of transparently just the robot mode laying down, but that's not inaccurate to how the original toy was, so it definitely works in that regard. I would say that the Insecticons in particular, it's weird because they kind of almost feel like they were like designed for Studio Series 86, just with like how slavishly loyal they are to the G1 designs, because this is definitely, going for the older sort of, more kind of vehicle spaceshipy type insect modes for the Insecticons, whereas other like modern interpretations have had them have like, more pronounced bug legs and actually make them look more like robot insects, where these guys are kind of just like insect themed little spaceships or whatever. But that's totally fine. That's accurate to how he was in G1, and I don't mind it. But yeah, no, I like the Stag Beetle mode. In terms of articulation, the little pincers can kind of fold in and out like that. They're also blast effect compatible at the ends here. And then for the legs, I mean, you can kind of fold them in, but you're really not meant to do much with that. If they really wanted to go full on G1, I guess they could have given them like little wheels here, but I'm fine with it as it is. But yeah, he comes with this weapon here, which is pretty accurate to his original weapon. And he does come with two more weapons, which are actually incorporated into the alt mode, which are just kind of the back legs here, but these two little guns that also have the little bug leg on it, which I think is a neat way to do it. I like that instead of just being like kibble bits hanging off his arms, these are actually more weapons. If you want to store this, there's a few options. How they want you to do it is just plug it on the top, but that there's better options than that. You can also plug it underneath here, just like this, either pointing forward like this, which I don't like that much because you can kind of see it from the front, or you can rotate it around, and there actually is just barely enough clearance here to peg it into the bottom this way, which is a lot more unobtrusive. So, that works pretty well. In terms of comparisons in this mode, just for the standard one, here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, just so you can see what he looks like with an average size deluxe car there, pretty much about the same size. Here he is with the previous version of Shrapnel, the Thrilling 30, I think this one is, version of the like Legends class one. And here you can see what I'm saying, where this is definitely one of those more modern takes where they've actually, tried to make it look more like an insect, but, to each his own. I'm kind of fine with either, to be honest, but, they look good together, but he's definitely a bit bigger since he's a deluxe. And last but not least, here he is with Legacy Kickback, just so you can see how the team is turning out so far. Very excited for when we eventually see Bombshell, because these two are both real winners. So, hopefully they get Bombshell right too, so we can have a nice solid deluxe trio of Insecticons here. But yeah, in terms of transformation, we can just take off the weapon. You can take these off or you can leave them on. I usually just leave them on because that's kind of where I end up storing them in robot mode anyway. So it's just a bit easier. But first thing you want to do is take the arms here, and they tab into the side of what will be the legs, and just kind of rotate them out to the side. I guess you can do this now. Flip out the hands. And then, you can do whatever you want with these. I usually flip them up the other way for when they're, just being stored and not being used, but, whatever. And then take the little bug legs here and fold them to the inside just like that. And then take this entire back section. It kind of unclicks and then double hinges down here like this at the knees and locks into place. And then take these panels and fold them forward to complete the shins there. Separate the legs and then fold the feet up just like that. Then we can rotate them around at the waist. And then the actual like Stag Beetle horns here, they kind of have like a soft locking place for where they're supposed to sit. Weirdly, only this one kind of feels like that. This one kind of just feels, like free. So I just usually lock that one in place and then try to, match this one visually. And then these panels, you just flip up and they'll kind of click into place like that to reveal his face. And there we have Shrapnel in his robot mode. Very, very simple transformation, but yeah, that's not necessarily bad. Let me just adjust the camera here a bit. Like I said, he looks fairly accurate to his original G1 version. Definitely the body here proportionally is like a little bit scrunched up, but you know, I think it works pretty well. He's got a nice head sculpt there. I wish that these maybe could flip all the way around and like sit on the other side of the little like black pieces that are holding them in, because though this is accurate, it is, I don't know. That's something that I think would have been maybe due for an update, just having those flip around just to be a little bit more out of the way, but you know, that's a nitpick. Just like Kickback, he does have the transparent yellow with the silver painted on the inside there, which I think looks really nice in terms of articulation. The head is on a swivel. It's honestly like really tight, which is, I guess I'd rather it be tight than loose, but it's a bit annoying, especially because it's got all this stuff around it. It's kind of a bit more difficult to grab as well, but you know, it's not too bad. The shoulders here are on universal joints, so they can rotate around just like that, you know, moving these out of the way, and they can rotate out to the side. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a little over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow there. The wrists can only bend in for transformation. For transformation, he does have that nice waist cut. Again, another really tight joint. Most of the joints on this guy are actually pretty tight, which is, you know, better than them being loose. So I'm not complaining about it really too much. He also has, or the hips can go forward and back and out to the side. He also has a thigh swivel, which works pretty well. About 90 degrees of bend at the knee there. And then the feet, they can't really tilt up, but they can tilt down for transformation. And then can also have, they also have a separate dedicated sideways ankle tilt. So pretty much all the marks there of what you'd actually want him to have. Now you can obviously give him his weapon here, the one that's pretty accurate to his G1 weapon. You can have him hold it like that. It also can store just where it did in the bug mode, just, you know, with now over top of the legs here, and that works pretty well. Or you can take these off and give him these separate handguns, which I think are really nice little weapons and a cool way to actually use the bug legs, because it's crazy how just like these don't change shape at all, but when you look at them like this, it's like, oh yeah, those are guns, and you turn them around like that, and then you start to notice this a bit more, and that looks more like the bug legs. It's just a clever kind of use of the parts there. And then part of the like legacy evolution gimmick is they advertise that you can take this, and this plugs into to one of the guns here, and then you can take the other gun and plug it in underneath to give him this like long, ridiculous rifle, sort of. And, you know, it looks all right. You can kind of rotate it around so that he can actually hold it in two hands. And, you know, that's not a terrible look. I don't think that, I don't know. I kind of just prefer the weapons individually, but, you know, it's something you can do. And, you know, play feature is not a bad thing. And it's not like it really takes away from the figure at all. So if you don't like it, you can just ignore it. And then otherwise, you know, that's just what it is. But yeah, in terms of these weapons, you could also, if you want, I tend to just store them here just because that's where they are in the alt mode. But you could also, if you like the look better of them being on the shoulders, you could do that. It is a little bit cleaner. I guess if you really wanted to, you could plug them onto the back of the legs, but that would, you know, interfere with the leg articulation unless you like hinge them out to the side. So personally, I don't mind the look of them kind of jutting off on the back of the elbows, so I just leave them there. But there are a few options if you don't like that. In terms of comparisons in this mode, just for the standard one, here he is again with Kingdom Sideswipe. So you can see a little bit shorter than he is, but pretty average size Deluxe there. Here he is again with the Thrilling 30 Shrapnel, or I guess he was Shrapnel. And yeah, they look pretty good together. And here he is again with Kickback, and then just for fun, here he is also with Siege Megatron, just so you can see what they look like with their boss man there. But yeah, that's not a whole lot else to say about him. Like I said, he's a very simple figure, but it's sort of like, you know, the Insecticons are kind of like, you know, Perceptor in that way, whereas like when we finally got Studio Series 86 Perceptor, it's just like, yep, that's pretty much what it is. A very simple figure. Just, it was an easy one to do right from the beginning. They just hadn't really done it yet. So yeah, it just works. You know, it's one of those toys where the G1 toys were actually proportionally pretty close to like how you'd want them to be anyway. It's just, we want one that, you know, has the finer detail and the more articulation and stuff like that. And that's what he is. And it just works. So yeah, pretty simple, but that is not a bad thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Make sure to check me out on my Instagram account. That is toys.n.art, where I post, just a bunch of kind of toy-related stuff. I post a few times per week. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to them. I almost said the entire outro again. Here we have Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Shrapnel.